Good morning. Today is Saturday, May 23rd. Hope you are all having a great weekend. This segment is somewhat of a follow-up to the Sailor Moon Redraw Challenge. If you don't know what that is, really quick, made a video on it a few days ago. If you missed it, basically you have this image, iconic image of Sailor Moon. I'm going to be honest, I don't know what episode it's from, but everyone's redrawing this. It's a huge challenge right now. For example, this tweet even has over 39,000 likes. Some of the other tweets had over 200,000 likes. A lot of wonderful, very talented artists partake in this challenge. Some going a more silly, memeable route like you see here. However, the point of this video is to take a look at what Japan thinks with some of the very bad takes that certain Westerners have made throughout this challenge. Let's take a look. Welcome back. So if you missed the first video, let me give you some context. If you didn't miss the first video, though, I don't want to be redundant. I'm going to make this as quick as possible. I'm not going to share my opinion on these statements. I'm just going to read them to give people the context here. So shout out to this Twitter user, Mo Baku, shared a tweet from this person, Silver Jiao Art, and there was a little bit of discourse on there. This tweet says, as a Sailor Moon fan, I feel obligated to participate in this challenge. And some of the responses, you made her look Japanese, yes, says Juniper. Six says, if this is an anime, wasn't she technically always Japanese? June says, so many people whitewash her in this challenge. Thank you, this is beautiful. Isaac says, lol, she was already white AF. El Cid says, no, she was Japanese from the start. Social says, thanks for this. This is more racially accurate than the actual show. Oh my gosh, it's hard for me not to voice an opinion on that. I've already talked about this, though. Gonna get through it really quick. The show isn't meant to look racially accurate. None of anime is meant to look like that, says Queen. Okay, recap done. All right, thanks for your patience. Now here is the new stuff. We apparently have some tweets from people in Japan talking about some of those terrible takes that Western Twitter had to make. You know, it's like I said in the first video. These weirdos can't just enjoy the art. They always got to try to shove some political agenda into it, and then they come off sounding like bigots while they do that. So let's see what some Japanese people have to say about this. Again, assuming that these translations are accurate, so I'm always going to make that disclaimer when need be. Let's take a look, though. It says, I knew they do think that way, but actually seeing it still surprises me. We see her as only some creation who has some affinity to Japanese. Compared to that, what they do is stereotyping some race. Stereotyping some race. That sounds a little, racist, doesn't it? Says, compared to that, what they do is stereotyping some race to teach what's correct. Oh my gosh, they're nailing it right there. Which produces prejudices and racism. Wrecked. This dude just completely destroyed Western Twitter in a few sentences. It's actually quite brilliant. What makes this HELL is that they think they are thinking equality to others. Oh my god, I love this person. This is exactly what I've said in my videos for like a year. Some of you remember, right, when I've said that what makes these weirdos so much worse even in comparison to bullies. Well, here's the full take. I would compare these weirdos on Twitter to bullies because, as I've said before, I think a lot of these people on Twitter don't care about these social justice type issues that they pretend to. I think they use it as an excuse to witch hunt others. So I will compare them to bullies. And I said time and time again that at least bullies don't pretend like they're the good guys. That's part of what makes these weirdos that much more disgusting. They act like they're in the morally right. They act like they're on some high horse talking down to others. But they're actually the ones that sound like bigots or racists, you know? It's so disgusting. And that's, in my opinion, what this fellow here is saying as well. What makes this that much worse is that they think they are thinking equality to others. It's really disgusting. So we have some more examples here. Let's take a look. Sailor Moon redraw thing was fun until, a quote, anime looks like white. Oh, these poor people, dude. This is messed up. Kinda talk came out again, which makes me so nauseous. That's the worst racism a few Westerners do, which is thinking that the verse is a pudding stereotype character who has straight cut bobbed hair with slant eye into a creation. So you see what they're getting at. Again, this is my take on it. I don't want to be putting words in their mouth and again translations and all that. But in my opinion, yeah, the point that they're making is that so many of these weirdos on Twitter actually stereotype it, like the dude above said. They stereotype it. The quote here from the guy above. What they do is stereotyping some race to teach what's correct. And this other tweet here kind of backs that up as well with their take, which is thinking that the verse is a pudding stereotype character who has straight cut bobbed hair with a slant eye. Yeah, Yeah, it's and then they add into it creation. I really like these points. I think they're making great points here. This is pretty cool to see. I mean, it's unfortunate that they even have to do this. It's really unfortunate this is where we're at. But at least, man, Japan isn't having it. They're giving it right to these weirdos, calling them out as they deserve to be called out because they are the bigots. Another one, let's take a look. It says that Japanese anime art are wanting to be white or blah blah thing. If they're talking about hair color, what race the characters want to be then? Who has pink, blue, green hair? If it's the lineament, then they totally ignoring South Asian people such as Okinawa originated. Just do something with your terrible stereotype, which has none of the diversity at all. So that one, you know, that one's a bit hard to understand. Some of them are easier than others. That one's a little bit tricky for me, at least. Maybe some of you get this totally. I'm not going to stick on this one too long because I don't want to, you know, voice my opinion when I don't fully get what they're saying here. I mean, I get the gist of it. I just don't want to, you know, rely on so many assumptions. Let's continue on to this one. It says, Sailor Moon and Asian thing. I kind of feel I saw true racism from human rights advanced country. Oh, oof, yeah. What's up with that, Western Twitter? You guys are supposed to be all progressive, right? You like to use that word. You like to call each other progressive and, you know, so great. So concerned for others and all that, right? Is it just a bunch of fluff? Is it just a bunch of BS? It looks like a lot of people think that. Even people in other countries, which is quite funny. Again, I say funny, but it's also disgusting. That, you know, a lot of the time, man, I've learned that you just gotta laugh at this stuff. If you take it so seriously 100% of the time, like you'll drive yourself crazy. You're dealing with crazy all the time. If you take it super serious, you'll drive yourself nuts, man. So all we can do is be glad that people, excuse me, let me rephrase this. All we can do is be glad that more and more people are pushing back against this kind of nonsense and laugh at the nonsense while we do it. A balance between being serious about it and not letting it get to us to the point where we drive ourselves crazy. At least that's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But that kind of approach has been helping me recently. I mean, there was a time where I think I was taking all this stuff too seriously, and I still take it seriously, don't get me wrong. I just find the humor in it now, where before I was just like, oh my gosh, the world is a mess, everything's going crazy, this all sucks. But now I'm like, you know, like I said, I can find the humor in it now when it's there. So here's another one. Let's take a look. The Sailor Moon Redraw Challenge is getting a buzz among foreign Twitter too. Asian version by a male artist in Kuala Lumpur is having arguments compared to that Afro-American version is generally favored. I feel I found a critical bug in Western political correctness. So I don't know exactly what they're referring to here. So this is another one I'm not going to stick on for too long. And this might actually be the last tweet. I'm not sure. We have to take a look. So they actually gave some examples, though. Let's see. Some pictures down here. You got on the left, I thought I'd participate in the Sailor Moon Redraw Challenge. And on the right, as a Sailor Moon fan, I feel obligated to participate in this challenge. I don't have much to say, though. I still don't really get the point. Let's read this one more time. The Sailor Moon Redraw Challenge is getting buzz among foreign Twitter too. Asian version by a male artist in Kuala Lumpur is having arguments compared to that Afro-American version is generally favored. Oh, are they saying... This is just an assumption. I'm not going to stick on it that long, too, because I don't really get it. Maybe they're saying that some of the comments on this one where they redrew it in this style, so to speak, is having people... there's people saying that they favor that style or something. I don't know. So that's that. Wow, some of those points were really good, though. I'd like to give a shout-out to Sarima as well. They said something very nice about me in this tweet. So Sarima, I don't know exactly their background. I think they're from Brazil, but they seem to have really good Japanese. So I don't know if they're a Japanese person that lives in Brazil or a Brazilian person that, you know, spent a lot of time learning Japanese. I don't know. But shout out to them. They seem like a pretty cool dude. Not just because they said something nice about me, but they make pretty good takes on Twitter pretty often that I've seen. So they said this, though, in this particular tweet. Am I the only one who thinks that Japanese otakus are close to reinvent the wheel? I mean, Comicsgate have Comics Matter, your boy Zach, Comic Arts Pro Secrets, Just Some Guy, Clownfish TV. English-speaking otakus have maybe The Lost Pause and Hero Hey. It just felt good getting that shout-out, so I appreciate that. I just wanted to include that there. I appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you, everyone in the community, for what we're accomplishing here. We're doing great things. It feels good. I want to end this segment by going back to Eddie Han Taiwan and their art, because I didn't realize just how amazing his responses were. I realized they were amazing, but I didn't realize how amazing, and I should have covered this more in my original segment, my original video on this topic. So we're going to do that here. Basically, what's going on is you have the original redraw picture, and then he decided to extend it in the same art style. I have to censor that because of what it shows. But basically, you have the falling sign down there. I think you can assume like what it's showing on the area that you can't see, right? Sailor Moon's outfit, she falls. What do you think? What do you think's there? There you go. You get the idea. So some of the responses, you get this Allie person saying she is 14. And then Eddie says, in the story, yes, so. And Allie responds with something that I can't show. Again, I talked about this in the first segment. She's so lazy. She just takes a screenshot of someone else's take on Twitter and posts that to Eddie. So she's too lazy to even write her own take. She just uses someone else's, doesn't even like paraphrase it, literally just takes a screenshot of their tweet and posts it there. So the response is then, Eddie says, this is the stock of juvenile comics, don't worry. It's just her her garments. You think about it too much. Someone calls him a buzzword. He says, go to school, stupid hat. He just handles it so well. He just kind of trolls them back. And then you got this guy, Nico, says, your strength to fight off crazy people is amazing. He says, I'm also thankful that you are willing to speak for me, which has helped me a lot. And above that, you got another person saying, I feel sorry for you having to waste your time with these people. He says, thank you. I will be fine. There's also this one. Isn't she 14? He says, 14 in 1992, I think should be safe. He's just so good at trolling him back. This is funny. Someone says, it isn't any age to drawing. He says, correct. Another person says, is this the true image? Because he did the redraw so well. Like I explained, he just tried to take the same picture and like extend the same style so it looks legit. This person thinks it's real. He says, I drew it. Sorry. It's funny, man. Wolf says, don't listen to the weirdos complaining about it. The artwork is awesome. He says, thanks. I know some people don't find humor, which is inevitable. So it's great. This dude's putting out good work. He's getting traction. He's getting more followers. The people trying to tear him down are just getting annihilated. He's laughing at them, and more people are supporting him. I'd say all around, that's a win-win for Eddie Han. Here's another one. Says, congrats, you almost made me spit out my coffee. He says, my bad, XD, basically. And then you got someone else crying. She's a freaking 14-year-old. Why do they all say the same exact thing? Oh my gosh, they are all in the same script. We say that. We almost sound like we're on the same script when we say that they're on the same script over and over again. But at least we have a valid reason for it because we're just reading what they're saying. They sound like they're on the same script. Like, if you really care about this, or is that all you're going to say? She's 14. She's 14. Dude, that's like, it took you 5 seconds to type that and you move on with your day. You don't actually care. You're fake. This one's not funny. It just goes to show Eddie's hard work. This guy says, the fact you responded to most of the comments here is some real dedication. Keep up the great work, bud. He says, thanks a lot. Another one, it was my favorite image, so I saved it. Goodbye. So overall, interesting stuff. We are seeing more and more, as we discussed already, more and more people from other countries pushing back against Western bigots who try to encroach on their culture. It's some pretty good stuff to see. And the Eddie stuff was a funny follow-up. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you again for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day. Shout out to the very kind people who promoted the opinion segment from yesterday with that virtual YouTuber Miko. We got Dinosaur King, Phantom Ravenwood, Baku Girl, Pot on the Brain, and DXDKJ Ambi-Pass Theater Productions. Thank you all very much. I will see you in a few hours, and I'll catch you then. Peace.